Man, I feel like I don't have a whole lot of Cuphead challenges left that I can do. That's right, today we're doing the lowest damage setup challenge, which basically what that is, we're going to use the lowest damage dealing shot, which is the chaser, and the twin heart, which makes me do 9% less damage. So it's going to lead to really hard bosses, longer bosses, and of course we're going to do it on expert mode, because we're not a bitch. With that being said, enjoy. Alright, so now we can start it up with the root pack. The root pack kind of functions as they normally do. Obviously he shoots his worm and parryable worm attacks, but you're going to notice that we end up going through a lot more cycles. Normally on expert mode, with any other weapon, it takes about 3 of his attacks before you can finally kill the potato, but on the lowest damage challenge, it takes like 5 or 6, and we cut some of them out. Another thing that you're going to frequently see is these green bullets going around me. That's the chaser's EX attack. It basically just acts like a shield for if like a minion or something hit you. And they do end up dealing extra damage if you use it close, as you can see right there on Ollie. They all just hit him. Now, Ollie obviously functions the same. It's very easy. It doesn't matter what weapon you're using. It's just going to take longer. But we did just go from 4 to 1 hearts there simply because I suck. I don't really know if there's any other reason. Onto the carrot, which is actually kind of concerning to me. And you'll see that once I build up enough for an EX, I will use it and just keep the shield around me to stop me from his carrot minions hitting me, which is something that I used on a few bosses with minions. As you can see, I hold it around me to give me an extra layer of protection so the carrots will break on that instead of actually hitting me, as you've seen right there. But it's not that hard, we do take it out. Alright, moving on to the second boss of Inkwell Isle 1. Now, this boss really isn't that difficult, we're being Croak. The main thing that does make it difficult is the fireflies that Croak likes to send out. These things suck, because obviously the chaser, so it's going to hold on to the fireflies instead of the boss, because it's going to do less damage, and they don't die in one hit, meaning that my shield strategy from the root pack isn't as effective. It's still good, it's just the fact that they take 2 hits means that sometimes they will slip through and get a hit off. It is a pretty easy boss, as you know, so we do get to the second phase very quickly, and the second phase is also done extremely easily because Croak has 1 attack where he does the blowy thing and Ribby has 2. He can do his flaming fist from the first phase, or he can clap and do his electric ball attack, which you can see right there, and it's just never been a hard phase. Once we get through them, we're going into the final phase with 4 hearts, which feels good, but it honestly never felt like enough when I was going in there, because as everyone knows, I'm not that good at this phase, especially if we get tigers, which was proven multiple times in previous videos. And with low damage, I was freaking out. So we do get tires, which sucks, and we can never get close enough to actually hit an EX, so we kind of just keep our distance and try and avoid as much as we can. We do pretty good till we get to the end, where we do end up taking a hit here, and I'll just skip through the rest because it's boring, but just know we do end up taking them out. Goopy Legrand. The boss so easy, I don't even know what to say about him. Honestly, he's not even harder with the low damage, because the chaser always locking onto him is nice, because he moves around a lot, so like the slightly difficult part of this boss is that there's not a whole lot of hit opportunities, but all he does is jump back and forth, and every now and then he's going to pop out and do a spring attack, or like the blow attack. So obviously with enough damage, he'll finally go into his second phase, or in his second phase, as we'll see in a second here, he's just going to take the tablet and pop out with the 3 question marks. It's just free parry, so we're just going to spam our EXs on him to try and do as much extra damage as we can. With that, and a little bit more damage, we will enter his third and final phase, which is very easy. I actually did kind of like having the chaser here, because I always hitting the tombstone. This boss is very mobile, but it's never difficult, and we take him out. Cagney Carnation. Here we are on the final boss of Inkwell Isle 1. This boss actually proved to be kind of difficult, mainly because of the first phase. The first phase is an outright bullet hell, and there's not a lot you can do about it. As you can see, sometimes he shoots down parryable seeds, which we try and hit, but moments like that where we can't hit them, happens. And then he'll send out the big flower on top that's going to shoot out parryables at us. This phase was really hard because of the little chomper dudes and the guy up top. It just became so much to keep track of, so I tried to keep the shield around me as much as I could with the EX move, and then with enough damage we will move on to a second phase where he gets 3 new attacks, the boomerang, the carrots, and whatever this is where he sticks out his face. This attack is very easy to dodge, but you did see I get hit there. That's because I suck. No other reason. But yeah, his phase isn't that hard. I am taking a lot of stupid damage. I don't know why. Maybe I just want to have some fun, and now I'm going to do the final phase on 1 HP. The final phase isn't that difficult, like, at all. He has 2 attacks where he just shoots out these pellets and he grabs onto the platform they're standing on, so you just stay moving and it's really not bad. This boss did take quite a few attempts, But like I said, it was just never difficult. It was always my fault. But with that, we do take her out. Alright, Baroness Bon Bon Bon, a personal favorite of mine, and the first boss in Gual too. So starting off, we do get the Gumball Man, which kind of sucks because his whole thing is kind of just a bullet hell with all the gumballs he shoots at. Now, it's not hard, it's just a little bit annoying having to spend extra time on him with the less damage. But again, it's not difficult, it's one of the easier ones. Into the second one, we get another easy one with the Gobstopper guy, or the Gumball. He's really easy, you just want to run in a circle as much as you can, like you're constantly hitting him. He's never an issue no matter what challenge you're doing. And for the final one, we get EDP, the Cupcake. This one is normally my least favorite one because it's definitely the hardest, but with the Chaser, it's really nice because you're always hitting him. So I feel like I didn't even end up spending that much extra time on him. And then when she comes out and starts shooting her cloud attacks, it's also not that bad. So it's pretty easy. We take out all of her minions with pretty good ease, and then we can move on to her final phase. In her final phase here, you see that we got that EX move right off. She just throws around her head, and then we'll shoot out a peppermint every now and then. You just want to stay moving. It's really not a hard phase. Just focus on dodging and you'll take her out extremely easily. Alright, here we are on Beppy the Clown. Another favorite. And Guala too, got some favorites on it. So this boss wasn't really that bad, but it kind of sucked at the same time. As you can see, the ducks going up across the screen were actually really annoying because I wasn't able to take them out because I was just trying to deal as much damage as I could to the boss. So a few of them did end up getting in my way, and I did take a few hits because of them. But obviously the first phase is never that difficult. We only got hit once until we get to transfer to our second phase. The second phase of this boss is where the difficulty comes in. As you can see, I immediately use the EX to get a shield around me because of the balloon dogs that's going to spawn. As we can see here, these balloon dogs suck because they're just always in the way. As soon as you spawn the first wave of them, I've been hit and lost all of the chasers that were going around me to protect me. So this phase was extremely difficult to have to deal with. My main strategy was just to send them in a direction and avoid them, which worked. As you can see, we did get hit twice during that phase, and we have to do the rest of the boss on 2 HP. Shouldn't be too bad. Here we do make a mistake and go down to 1 HP. So now we can do the rest of the boss fight on 1 HP, which, yeah, is definitely difficult. This phase really isn't that bad with the horseshoes that he shoots out, whether it's the green ones or the gold ones. It's really not terrible to deal with. Just make sure that you're under him when possible, and you'll get to the final phase. In the final phase, I kind of suck at it, but I've been practicing it a lot lately, so hopefully all that practicing will come into play here and help me to take it out on my first try, hopefully. But we sweat it out, and now when the baseball kits come out is when I start to struggle a little bit. As you can see, we're trying to avoid them the best we can, and then when the train comes by to take them all out, we do get hit and die. Yeah. Anyway, so I beat the boss on my next attempt. Now it's time for me to show you guys the boss that consistently gives me so much pain whenever I do these challenges. Grim Matchstick. Just take a look. Did you notice a theme in those deaths? Those weren't all the deaths, by the way. They were all in the final phase, because what it came down to was me not shooting during his final phase until he was doing the flamethrower attack. Right there. Because when you shoot with those little balls, if I break them by accident, they split into 4, and it just made it too difficult. So this boss ended up taking forever. Lots of pain. I'm not even going through the other parts of the boss, but we did eventually take it out. Okay, here we are on the B, Rumor Honeybottoms. So Rumor Honeybottoms honestly isn't that bad in this challenge. The B does suck when you're using the charge on it, or sorry, the chaser, but it's really not that bad. The main thing for his first phase is just he sends out the little minions and he'll shoot out his little time bomb things that explode into parryable and non-parryable spikes. Overall, it's an easy phase, so we get through it very quickly without taking any damage, which is always good. In the second phase, the B is going to come down from the very top and shoot her missiles left and right. This attack I really hate for the second phase because I'm kind of bad at dodging it, but overall it's really not that bad. As you can see, we avoid the missiles and just take dumb damage there. Then she can come to the right side as well and summon her triangle attacks that like shoot out parryable triangles as well. Again, it's not that bad, and then once you do deal enough damage, you'll enter her third phase, where she's going to come down from the top reading a book, pick her transformation, and transform into the plane. The plane is fairly easy. We just want to stay away from those fists as much as possible. They do home on, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but really never that bad. And then the other attack she can do is with the blade saw. She'll go to one side, you run to the other, and you'll be fine. And with enough damage and discipline, you'll take her out. Alright, Werner Werman, the Rat. The easiest boss of File 3 with no dispute. This boss is always easy. As you can see, shoots into his catapult and then sends out a bunch of garbage, some which is parryable, so we try and hit those just to get some EXs for later. Not to say that the Chaser EX is good, but it's nice. Then he shoots out his parryable springs, which we obviously want to hit just to get over him. If I had Smoke Bomb, I'd use that, but we don't. In his second phase, he will spawn the bottle caps on the side of us and go into his little flamethrower machine here. We're going to use some EXs, or just one EX, to deal as much damage as we can. And just mainly look at us for flamethrower. The only actual danger in this is the bottle caps. As you can see, we get hit right there. But the bottle caps are pretty easy to manage. Just take it slow and you'll get through the phase pretty easily. In his third and final phase, when he gets eaten by the cat, he gains a few more attacks. He has the ability to go around screen and grab you and then drop these little wooden planks. He can also summon ghosts, which we'll see later. But he just uses his hand attack over and over, so we dash just to get around it and stay safe until he finally uses the 4 ghost attack. This attack is pretty annoying, but they do shoot parryable and non-parryable balls, and we do take him out. Alright, here we are on Captain Brineybeard. The boss so boring, I don't know what to say. So, there's the barrel up top that's constantly going to following us, and another one of his attacks, you can take the octopus and shoot it with parryable and non-parryable pellets. Anyway, that's phase 1. I don't know what else to tell you. In the final phase, because yeah, it's that short and boring of a boss, his ship starts shooting fireballs at us, and we have to avoid those. Well, it's also going to send out a laser every now and then. Anyway, that's Brineybeard. We beat him. It's easy. Alright, so here we are on Sally's Stageplay. Now, Sally's Stageplay was actually kind of difficult and did take me more than one attempt, believe it or not. Not because she's hard, just because I'm stupid and impatient. So you see right there, one of her attacks is like she'll shoot at this little heart, it's always parryable. Another one, she can be diving around, or she can throw her boomerang. Not really a boomerang, I don't really know what to call it. Her fan, it's a fan, obviously I'm stupid. Anyway, with enough damage we can move on to her second phase where her groom's going to hop in the car with her. And then the curtain's going to drop down and it's going to transport us to a new area, the orphanage, or the adoption house. I don't know. Anyway, she gains a few new attacks. So, in this one, as we can see, the mice that are coming down from her umbrella, along with the babies up top that are constantly throwing milk at us. Now, neither of these attacks are hard, it's just when they're coupled together. Obviously, she keeps her fan attack, not a boomerang. And we take her out. Well, no. We move on to her third phase, after taking 3 hits. Now, this phase is pretty easy. As you can see, it's going to drop down the meteor. Inside the meteor is going to be a pink star, which we use to parry over and dash over that wave. Another one of her attacks is her lightning attack, where she just rains down some lightning. It's pretty easy, just focus on dodging, and it's never a hard boss. Now that we have done enough damage there, we're going to move on to her fourth and final phase, which is actually pretty nice to have the Chaser in. With the Chaser constantly locking onto her up above, all we have to worry about is hitting the parries on the roses and just looking out for her umbrella. It is extremely easy. We even try to get some EXs off and just spray her as much as we can to inevitably take her out. Please allow me to introduce you to one of the biggest bottlenecks of the challenge, him. This spectral ghost guy sucks because of his one attack. He shoots out all these little eyeballs, which is no problem, but the fact that we deal such little damage that we can't break them and they almost always make it to us made it so difficult. Coupled with the pumpkin on top that was constantly dropping down parryables at us, it was just brutal. Also, watch this. Oh, it's really cool, isn't it? It gets less cool every single time I watch it. I hope that you guys liked it, though. So yeah, we just try to keep the shield around us as much as we can to eventually take him out. It wasn't too bad, but pretty much all of my attempts of this boss did end on the first phase. But it went pretty well. So anyway, now we get introduced to the conductor, the second phase. This skeleton guy is incredibly simple to take out. All you want to do is just continually follow where his head is at and you'll never get hit. You don't even have to do that. You can just stand between the 2 hands and you still will not get hit. It's also the same thing with the pumpkin following us, dropping down parryables that move the car. Anyway, as you can see, we killed the conductor, and then we can move on to the only mini-boss of the challenge that I can actually consider to be hard, the twins. For the twins, we just want to sit on the left side and shoot them as much as we can, hoping that the right one will attack, which is what happens. And then we just spray into them, where we kill them one at a time. I cut it out because it was just long and boring. But yes, we do take them both out. We did get hit, which is a little bit unlucky, but as you can see, we took out both the twins. Alright, with the twins defeated, we can move on to the fourth and final phase, which honestly isn't that bad, and the Chaser is kind of nice to have. All that's new is that there's a bone ring attack that will shoot down, and when it gets to our level, it'll just fly to us. Anyway, so we have to parry its tail to open up his heart, and then just pump so much damage into it that we do eventually get him to croak. Alright, second final boss. That was fun. Anyway, the King Dice boss really isn't that simple, or isn't that different. We just try and get across. Obviously, we get a 1 so we can fight the Tipsy Trio and get the extra heart, and I'll just let it play out for a second. So yeah, King Dice pretty much gets beaten as normal. And then moving on to the actual King Dice boss, once we kill the goons. It's pretty simple with the chaser, to be honest. It's kind of nice to be constantly locking on. All we gotta do is parry these ace hearts over and over, looking out for the black ones. But yeah, we just do it as much as we can, and then eventually we'll just take him out. It's an incredibly easy boss fight, even though it's the second last one. Speaking of incredibly difficult bosses, let's talk about the Devil. This is the boss that I actually had to take a break from. Originally, I plan on doing my challenges in just one run, unless they're very difficult. But this one just stumped me for the better part of an hour. Okay, maybe like 45 minutes, but still. This boss was just crazy difficult. As you can see, he's sending his henchmen and stuff going left and right. He's doing his attacks, but they're not difficult, so we take him out with only sustaining one hit. Now, once we go into the second phase, this isn't the phase that could be difficulty, but it's where the problems started. In his second phase, he gains multiple new attacks, so you see the axe that he does. There's going to be poker chips falling from the ceiling left to right. Those continue for the rest of the boss fight, and there's the parryable bomb bat thing. Not difficult stuff. So all we have to worry about is shooting him as much as we can, just to get through the phase. It's not difficult. We don't get hit. It's easy. This is where the problem started. In this phase, he gains 2 more minions. He gains the big henchman that you see on my left and right, and the small one, which he shoots out of his forehead. The original plan is to try and kill the left one and just hang out there until the poker chips force me to move, and obviously use my EXs to keep the shield around me to stop the little henchman from hitting me. But this is the phase that ended so many of my runs, where I would get through the final phase on 1 HP and just end up choking, and I could just never beat it. It gave me so much difficulty, but hey, one run's got to be the one. In the final phase, we go in there on 3 hearts, where we're constantly looking out for the teardrops. And do you guys know that those are parryable? Because I didn't till like yesterday. Wish I knew that. But anyway, we take him out. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I really don't have an excuse for why I haven't been uploading. It's just been laziness. I'm going to try and get back on the grind and start pumping out more videos for you guys. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. By the way, S rank, and remember to smile more.